What if the truths we've been told about women for generations were only half the story? What if one of history's most controversial philosophers, Friedrich Nietzsche, understood something about female nature that the world wasn't ready to hear? Nietzsche's ideas were often uncomfortable, even offensive to some. But behind the shock and provocation was a deep insight about human desire, power, and perception. Today, we're going to strip away the filters and explore the brutal truth he saw. A truth that's just as relevant now as it was a century ago. Before we begin, here's the question of the day. Do you believe that men and women truly understand each other? Or are we all just pretending to? Write your thoughts in the comments. You might be surprised how divided people are on this. Nietzsche believed that misunderstanding between the sexes wasn't accidental. It was essential to how attraction, power, and even society itself functioned. Nietzsche didn't write about women from sentiment or idealism. He wrote from observation. To him, women represented both mystery and truth, the part of human nature that could not be conquered by reason. He believed that the feminine was the living embodiment of life's instinct, the drive for survival, creation, and dominance. This wasn't flattery, it was raw recognition. He saw in women a kind of strength that men often misread as manipulation, when in fact it was adaptation. To Nietzsche, nature had made women both softer and stronger than men in entirely different ways. So as we explore this topic, set aside the modern lenses for a moment. This isn't about praise or criticism. It's about understanding the hidden patterns Nietzsche exposed in human nature. What he saw in women was not weakness or deceit, but a reflection of life's deepest truth. Survival doesn't always wear honesty, it wears beauty, charm, and mystery. Welcome to Seductive Wisdom, where we confront the uncomfortable truths behind history's most powerful ideas. Friedrich Nietzsche was not known for comfort or politeness. He was known for cutting through illusions. When it came to women, his writings shocked many because they were not romantic, but brutally analytical. Nietzsche saw woman as the embodiment of life's most primal force, the will to survive and to influence. He believed that what made women powerful was not their conformity to moral ideals, but their understanding of instinct. To him, the feminine was nature itself, unpredictable, strategic, and endlessly creative. He didn't idealize women, he studied them as he studied truth, by stripping away illusions. For Nietzsche, the feminine represented something that philosophy itself could not fully grasp. Instinct over intellect. He argued that women understood something men often ignored. That survival depends not on raw power but on perception, adaptability, and emotion. While men sought control through reason, women thrived through intuition. He called this life's intelligence, a form of wisdom that works through charm, timing, and subtlety rather than force. This, Nietzsche believed, was nature's design. Women were life's guardians because they understood life's rhythm better than men did. He also saw this feminine mystery as both beautiful and dangerous. Beauty, he said, is not innocence. It is a weapon, nature's way of keeping power balanced. Through beauty and grace, the weaker form could rule the stronger one without violence. Nietzsche admired this as one of evolution's greatest achievements. It was not manipulation, as critics often claimed. It was survival expressed through intelligence. To him, the feminine instinct to attract, persuade, and shape emotion was proof that nature's most powerful strategies are never direct. Nietzsche's fascination with women was, in truth, a fascination with the deeper logic of life. He saw in women what he saw in existence itself, a blend of creation and destruction, order and chaos. The mystery of woman was, for him, the mystery of nature, a force that gives and takes, seduces and tests, builds and breaks. Understanding that, Nietzsche said, was to understand the brutal truth about life. That behind every form of beauty lies strategy, and behind every act of love lies the will to survive. Nietzsche believed that instinct was the true intelligence of life, the silent force guiding all living things long before reason ever appeared. He often contrasted male and female nature to illustrate how instinct works. Men, he said, are driven by ideas, systems, and conquest. They want to control life by understanding it. Women, on the other hand, do not attempt to dominate life. They move with it. Their strength lies in adaptation, in knowing when to yield, when to wait, and when to act. Nietzsche saw this as a higher form of wisdom, one that reflects nature's true design. He argued that women's understanding of survival was not learned, it was inherited. Over centuries, they mastered the subtle art of influence because open confrontation was rarely an option. In Nietzsche's view, this gave women a sharper awareness of human behavior. They could read emotions, anticipate reactions, and sense danger before men could define it. What men called emotional intelligence, Nietzsche would have called natural instinct, the ability to feel the world's rhythm instead of forcing it. An example he often hinted at was how women maintain social harmony without direct authority. In family, community, or relationships, their power was rarely formal. Yet their influence was undeniable. Nietzsche saw this as life's clever paradox. Those who appear to have less power often possess more control, the ability to persuade, to inspire loyalty, to calm or provoke at the right moment. These were to him signs of evolutionary genius. Nature had made women the guardians of continuity, not through strength, but through awareness. Nietzsche's brutal honesty came from his willingness to admit what most of his time refused to see, that survival is not about dominance alone, but about understanding the delicate balance between strength and subtlety. He believed women had kept that secret alive, while men chased illusions of control. To him, the instinct that allowed women to thrive under pressure, to endure change, and to protect life itself was not a lesser form of intelligence, It was the original one, the intelligence of nature itself. Nietzsche believed that nature hides its deepest truths behind beauty. He argued that what we call feminine beauty is not a decoration. It's a form of strategy. To him, beauty was nature's most subtle weapon, a force that could influence and disarm without violence. Where men relied on strength or intellect, women relied on appearance, intuition, and timing. Nietzsche wrote that this was not manipulation, but instinct refined by evolution. Nature, he said, never wastes power, it disguises it. And beauty was one of its most effective disguises. In his eyes, beauty was not innocent, it was purposeful. The charm, elegance, and emotional intelligence that men admired in women were not simply traits, they were tools of survival. Nietzsche viewed attraction itself as a transaction of power, each side using what nature gave them to achieve balance. A woman's ability to draw attention, to persuade through emotion rather than reason, was a higher form of influence. He believed that through this dynamic, nature ensured that dominance would never belong entirely to one side. Beauty then became a natural equalizer. He often compared this to the way nature disguises strength in fragility. A flower, delicate and short-lived, can outlast stone because it reproduces, spreads, and renews itself through attraction. Likewise, Nietzsche believed women's seeming vulnerability was part of a deeper strength, an evolutionary intelligence designed to shape the behavior of others without open confrontation. He admired this quiet control, calling it the genius of life in its most graceful form. To Nietzsche, deception was not evil, it was necessary. Every living thing hides part of its truth to survive. A tiger's stripes, a bird's song, or a woman's charm all serve the same purpose: to protect, attract, and sustain life. What disturbed people about Nietzsche's view was not that he called beauty deceptive, but that he called deception beautiful. He saw it as proof that life's greatest power lies not in brute force, but in the ability to influence what others see and believe, and that, in his view, was the hidden truth women had mastered for centuries. After Nietzsche's death, his ideas about women were often dismissed as misogynistic, yet few bothered to read what he truly meant. He was not condemning women. He was revealing something society was not ready to confront: that power is rarely honest, and that women had mastered its quietest form. Over time, modern culture softened Nietzsche's view, turning it into sentimental talk about beauty, love, and equality, stripping away the uncomfortable part. His belief that influence, not authority, is the real source of control. What disturbed people wasn't his cynicism, but his accuracy. Nietzsche lived in a world where male dominance was the norm, yet he saw the irony in it. He wrote that men believed they ruled society, while in truth their desires, ambitions, and even moral ideals were subtly shaped by the influence of women. This didn't mean manipulation, it meant balance. Nature, he argued, designed both sexes to rule differently: men through visible power, women through invisible persuasion. Society later glorified one and downplayed the other, forgetting that the unseen often governs the seen. He also observed how modern morality tried to suppress the natural tension between men and women by pretending it didn't exist. Nietzsche rejected that illusion. He believed attraction and conflict were inseparable, that the dance of dominance and surrender was what kept human connection alive. In trying to erase these differences, society, in his view, made both men and women weaker. When you deny natural power, it doesn't disappear. It becomes hidden, repressed, and misunderstood. Nietzsche's truth about women was therefore not cruel, but corrective. He wanted humanity to see that life's energy, especially feminine energy, was not meant to be simplified into moral categories like good or bad. It was meant to be understood. When society sanitizes truth to make it comfortable, it loses insight into how nature truly operates. Nietzsche's warning still stands. When we disguise the power of instinct and influence, we blind ourselves to the forces that quietly shape civilization itself. Nietzsche's reflections on women were not instructions but observations. His attempt to uncover the hidden architecture of human behavior. What makes his ideas still relevant today is that they reveal how power, attraction, and understanding continue to work beneath modern appearances. In a world obsessed with equality in form, Nietzsche would remind us that equality of essence was never the same as sameness. Men and women remain different not in worth, but in the way they express life's intelligence. To deny that difference, he warned, is to deny part of nature's design. From Nietzsche's point of view, modern relationships suffer not because of inequality, but because both sexes have forgotten their natural strengths. Men are often uncertain of their role, mistaking dominance for leadership or passivity for peace. Women, in turn, may forget the quiet authority their instincts grant them, seeking power by imitation rather than by understanding their own nature. Nietzsche's lesson is that genuine power never imitates. It expresses itself authentically in the way nature intended. He would also say that both men and women must learn to respect the qualities they do not possess. A man who cannot appreciate emotional intelligence will always misread strength as manipulation. A woman who cannot recognize masculine ambition will always see confidence as arrogance. Nietzsche's insight was that wisdom begins when we stop competing and start observing. The tension between the sexes is not a flaw. It is the very friction that keeps life dynamic, creative, and evolving. The modern world can still learn from Nietzsche's brutal honesty. Beneath his provocation was a call to look deeper, to see that truth is rarely polite, and that the instinct for survival still drives every human interaction, no matter how civilized we think we are. What he saw in women was not mystery for the sake of mystique, but the reflection of nature's finest intelligence. The ability to endure, to adapt, and to influence without force. For Nietzsche, that was not weakness. It was the highest form of strength life could create. Nietzsche's view of women was never meant to flatter or insult. It was meant to expose. He forced readers to see the deeper mechanics of human nature, even when they were uncomfortable. His words remind us that life hides its power behind subtlety. What he called the feminine mystery was not about gender politics, but about the ancient balance between instinct and intellect, emotion and reason. Those who understood this balance, Nietzsche believed, understood how life truly operates, quietly, strategically, and with purpose. If there's one message to take from Nietzsche, it's that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. The influence that moves nations, changes relationships, and shapes ideas often comes from places the world overlooks, from intuition, timing, empathy, and silence. Modern society still struggles to recognize that kind of strength because it doesn't fit into its definitions of power. But Nietzsche saw it clearly, and perhaps that's why his truth still unsettles people today. Now think about this. Do you see influence as something that comes from control or from understanding? Which kind of strength do you trust more? The one that forces change or the one that inspires it? Share your thoughts in the comments. I want to hear how you see Nietzsche's ideas reflected in today's world. If you made it this far, write seductive wisdom in the comments to show you've reached the end of this journey. Remember, philosophy isn't about agreeing, it's about seeing. And sometimes the truths that disturb us most are the ones that teach us how to see clearly.